John's hands trembled as he typed his resignation letter. Every word felt like a betrayal, not to his company, but to his 6-year-old daughter, Mia. He looked at the crayon drawing of a smiling sun taped to his monitor, a daily reminder of her bright spirit. That brightness had been dimming lately. He was missing school plays, parent-teacher conferences, and even simple bedtime stories. The long hours and demanding travel of his high-powered marketing job were stealing him away from the most important role he had: being a dad. His wife had passed away 3 years ago, leaving him to navigate the world of single parenthood alone. He'd thrown himself into his work, believing that providing financially was the best way to care for Mia. He'd climbed the corporate ladder, earning promotions and accolades. But what was the point of a corner office if his daughter felt like he was a world away? The final straw came last week. He'd promised Mia he'd be at her first ever soccer game. He had his suit on, ready to leave the office, when a last-minute crisis erupted. He'd spend the next 4 hours on a conference call, his phone buzzing with missed calls from the babysitter. When he finally got home, he found Mia asleep, her soccer uniform still on, clutching a little trophy she'd won. The babysitter told him she'd kept looking towards the sidelines, asking, "Is Daddy here yet?" That sentence had shattered his heart. He couldn't do it anymore. He hit send on the email. A wave of both terror and relief washed over him. He had no plan, no other job lined up. All he knew was that he had to choose his daughter. The next morning, his boss called him in, looking disappointed but understanding. The news traveled fast. Colleagues stopped by his desk, some offering support, others giving him pitying looks. He just packed his things, his mind already on building a new life with Mia, a simpler one. On his last day, as he was carrying a box of personal belongings to his car, a sleek black sedan pulled up. The back window rolled down, and to John's shock, it was Mr. Harrison, the CEO of the entire multi-billion-dollar corporation. John had only seen him in person a handful of times at company-wide meetings. "John," Mr. Harrison said, his voice calm but firm. "Get in. We need to talk." John's heart pounded. Was he in some kind of trouble? He hesitantly got into the luxurious car. They drove in silence for a few minutes before Mr. Harrison spoke. "I read your resignation," he started, "and I'm here to accept it." John's stomach dropped. This was it. It was really over. He nodded numbly, preparing for a lecture or a dismissive farewell. But then the CEO continued. "I accept you quitting your current role, but I don't accept losing you, John Ludap." Confused, Mr. Harrison turned to face him, his expression serious. "I did some digging after I saw your email. I know about your situation, about Mia. My own father was a workaholic. I barely saw him. I swore I'd never be that kind of parent, but sometimes business gets in the way. It takes a brave man to realize what's truly important and make a change. Your talent is undeniable, John. Your campaigns have been game changers for us. Losing that would be a strategic failure." John was speechless. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Sir, I don't understand," he stammered. Mr. Harrison smiled faintly. "What if I told you that we've been planning to open a new, smaller branch in your town, a more community-focused division? It needs a director. The hours will be 9 to 4, no weekends, no mandatory travel. It's a different pace, a different kind of challenge. It's a pay cut from your current director-level salary. I won't lie about that. But it's a leadership position where you can build something from the ground up, right here at home." John stared at him, his mind reeling. A job that would let him be home for dinner every night. Pick Mia up from school, go to her soccer games. It sounded too good to be true. "Why?" John asked, his voice barely a whisper. "Why would you do this for me?" Mr. Harrison's gaze softened. "Because good people are the most valuable asset a company has. And a good father is the most valuable asset a child has. We're a family-oriented company, or at least we claim to be. It's time we put our money where our mouth is. We can't afford to lose a man who's willing to sacrifice a career for his family. That's the kind of character, the kind of integrity I want leading my teams." Tears welled up in John's eyes, but for the first time in a long time, they weren't tears of sorrow or stress. They were tears of overwhelming gratitude. He thought of Mia's smile, of bedtime stories he could now read, of soccer games he would never miss again. He wasn't losing his career. He was gaining a life. "Mr. Harrison," John said, his voice thick with emotion. I don't know what to say." The CEO put a hand on his shoulder. "Just say you'll think about it. The offer is on the table. Go home to your daughter, John. That's in order." As John got out of the car and watched it drive away, he looked down at the box in his hands. He realized he wasn't just carrying old office supplies. He was carrying the pieces of a new beginning, a future where he could be both the hero his company needed and the father his daughter deserved. And he knew, with absolute certainty, we don't chase views, here we share moments. If this moment meant something to you, support Soulstir with a like and subscribe.